Hi there, thanks for being here. My name's Emily. Today we're going to be painting the cover of my sketchbook. So without further ado, let's just dive right in.
This is an Artist Loft sketchbook from Michaels. I'm not totally sure when or where I got it, because it was just hanging out in my backup sketchbook stash. In here I made a couple of thumbnails with my ideas. I knew I wanted to include my original character Perry, the Mushroom Man. I tested out a couple different layouts and scales, but ultimately I settled on the idea of Perry sitting on a sign with the sketchbook name and number. I wanted to make it a little more illustrative, so I decided to put it under an arch of sky. I wanted it to kind of look like it was popping out of the book, to say, hey, this is my sketchbook. I don't know about you, but I stink at drawing anything round or straight. So for this project, I decided to use a bowl to help me out for the rounded part of the arch and a ruler for the straight lines. As I do with the majority of my illustration projects, I'm just copying from my thumbnail. I'm drawing this wooden sign with the word Sketchbook 48. Everything was fairly simple to sketch, except for the spacing of the letters. I didn't record all of it because I really needed to focus. So what I ended up doing was writing the first S and then writing the rest of the word sketchbook backwards to make sure I could fit it all. Here's how the sketch turned out. Then it's time to move on to painting it. This is where the magic happens. I decided to use my Holbein Acrylic Gouache, a Christmas gift from my sister. Thanks, Abby. I wanted to limit my color palette. I knew I'd need white and blue for the sky. I chose ultramarine, carmine, scarlet, deep yellow, and burnt sienna as well. I wanted to keep away from the black and keep the colors kind of muted. I'm also using this apple barrel white acrylic paint to create tints, since I only have a little titanium white gouache. I pre-mixed a couple colors for the sky and tested it, and then I started out by wetting my paintbrush and going right in on it. Of course, I started by dripping blue paint right where it did not belong. Gouache is not my regular medium. The only time I really use it is to paint Christmas ornaments for family and friends. I would say I'm a bit of a novice. I wanted to get a bit of a gradient look for the sky and struggled. I wasn't sure if I should use more water or white paint. I had a hard time trying to get it not to look streaky. I think my brush choice could have been better as well. I used a filbert brush, which is like the rounded flat end brush, kind of. But I think a flat brush would probably be a better choice. I had a hard time with the edges and details. I did end up using a round brush to blend the colors together, and I tried to use water here primarily. It ended up a bit streaky, but it did help with the blend. And we got there, eventually. Do you guys have any tips for blending gouache? The next step for me was painting in the grass at the bottom. I chose to mix it myself to get more of a warm, muted green. I'm not any sort of master color mixer, but here I used the deep yellow and ultramarine to get this green hue. I used more of the deep yellow than the ultramarine, so it would be a little bit warmer. I used an old egg carton as my palette, and it worked really well. The green is a strange contrast against the minty teal of the sketchbook, but as I was painting it, I reminded myself that it would look better later after adding some lines around it. Painting the wood on the sign was interesting. I started out with too much paint on my brush, but I didn't want to waste it or lose the sketch of the letters I had spent so long on, so I watered it down a bit and changed brushes to make sure I could keep the details. painting around the letters was so satisfying. What I think really brought this painting to a whole nother level was outlining. It was the saving grace. Once I started adding lines onto the sign, I was locked in. I felt like this could actually turn out well. I chose to make Sketchbook 48 dark as well. It really helped it to stand out. I wanted to give it more of a carved look, but I had a limited nap time and I wasn't sure how to achieve it, so I decided to go for contrast rather than texture. I did end up adding darker shadows to the letters at the end to make them pop out more. I think painting and writing letters or doing calligraphy can be a fun change of pace, at least for me, who normally works on illustrations. I do it often in my sketchbook for quotes or verses that I want to remember. I think it's fun because it's still a way to be creative, but you get to use a different side of your brain. For me, I like to use a more geometrical side to explore what kind of fonts, I guess is the word, or different types of text I can use. I did, however, add so much texture to the wood. For one, it was super fun. For another, it felt like it could always use more. Did I overdo it? Well, maybe. But you're not judging me, right? I may be reiterating this again, but I do believe that lining it in the darker color really brought this whole piece together. Made it look complete, in my opinion. It definitely added a bit of contrast where I think this painting was missing it, and I think that is something I need to learn when I do future gouache paintings, is that lining the gouache paintings with actual gouache in a darker color is best, at least when it comes to paintings like this. I normally will go for colored pencils, but I think the gouache really creates more contrast and more cohesion throughout the piece. Of course, adding texture to the sign wasn't enough. The grass needed texture too. So I mixed my green in with the brown to get this color, and it helped really tie things together. I think one of the joys of gouache is how opaque it is. You can always paint over your mistakes, add depth, or highlights. It's pretty incredible, and I think I will have to paint with it more in the future. I started using warm neutrals a lot more in 2023, I believe it was. I did it mainly at the time to keep my Instagram cohesive, and it was also inspired by many lovely Instagram illustrators that I followed at the time. I love using warm colors. I think they suit my style best, but I do miss the bright colors I used to use in the past. I believe I am starting to break free from only using a certain palette for all my illustrations, but here I stuck to my warm neutrals pretty much to help Perry stand out, but also because it's what I'm comfortable with. Of course, after adding texture, we had to up the ante and paint Perry really itty-bitty. This is what he looks like normally in all his glory, but smallified, we had to abbreviate some of the details. Mixing his colors was tricky business. His palette is normally red, teal, and warm yellow. The yellow was easy enough, straight from the tube. For the red of his cap, I mixed 3 shades. I did the scarlet and carmine with just a dab of blue to get a shadow color. The teal was the most difficult. I wanted Perry to be cohesive with the rest of the painting. I questioned past me on why Perry's arms and legs were teal. It doesn't make sense. His face is off-white. Why, past Emily, why? I do know why. It's because Perry's palette is inspired by Hilda, but the teal legs still don't really make sense. Anyway, I used a deep yellow and ultramarine to make an extremely muted teal, and praise God, it worked. The rest was just outlining by controlling my hand very delicately. I just want to take a moment to say thank you all for being here so much. I am so grateful you guys are a part of this little community we're forming. And thanks to you who voted in the community poll for what I should do with my sketchbook. I loved working on this, and I'm so glad to have an audience that kind of pushed me to do it and is supporting me. We hit 100 subscribers, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and I didn't say anything, but I should have, because I am so grateful for all of you being here. So thank you so much. I've made a lot of first sketchbook pages, probably 47 of them since this is sketchbook 48, but this is my first time seriously painting a sketchbook cover. I have painted sketchbook covers in the past, usually with a solid color for spiral bound mixed media sketchbooks to kind of get rid of the branding and make them my own, but this was definitely something different. I made a plan, stuck to it, and had so much fun. I learned a bit about how I like to paint with gouache in the future, and I think I would like to paint another sketchbook cover again. We'll see if that is something we get to, but first we gotta finish this sketchbook. The finishing touch on this piece was changing the border from ultramarine to a dark brown. I really just like that blue border, and I'm so glad I had time to change it. It really helps tie the whole piece together. The blue just stood out way too much. Here it is in all its natural light glory, with some smudges. Perry is my absolute favorite detail. I hope you like this sketchbook painting as much as I do. Let me know if you have any tips for next time.
If you're still here, thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out this long. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I post videos every Monday. If you want to say hi, please leave a comment and I would love to say hi back. I love talking to you guys. It's always such a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay creative.